Hey guys, welcome back. So I wanted to take some time today to talk a little bit about colored magic stereotypes. And this is something that is pretty prevalent in most of the pagan community. We're all kind of guilty of it. I know I've been guilty of it. There's this idea that you can quantify and classify magic, supernatural, or sorcery practice by color. And while I get that color being a very important visual element for us humans, you know, it can evoke a certain feeling, it can act as a tuning fork, it can definitely help you to recenter and refocus on a certain something as you're trying to do it. But to take that, what should be a tuning fork, and use it as a label for an entire branch of magic, or for an entire type of magic, or like a subgenre of magic, is just a completely wrong-headed notion. There is no such thing as white or black magic, and the fact that we use those colors specifically to relate to what is often considered white is good magic and black is bad magic, that's problematic. It's severely problematic, and it's deeply embedded in our cultural and societal classification of what is good and what is bad, and it goes back straight into racism. So, yeah, say what you want to. Calling bad or aggressive magic black magic is fucking racist. And calling white magic or good magic or loving magic white, like, that's fucking racist. And we need to stop that shit, because that doesn't belong in our communities. There are plenty of people of color who practice good magic. There are plenty of people who are Caucasian that practice aggressive magic. And that's why I call it that. It's not white magic. It's not black magic. And then we get into subsects like green magic is supposed to be earth magic or growth magic. Literally every color exists on the planet. So to call earth magic green or brown doesn't make sense. So when you're seeing these, part of this is these stupid things on social media, this test, find out what color you are. Like, it has no place in the actual practical application of the craft. It literally doesn't. And to classify and quantify and categorize magic like that, why would you even do that? Like, I get the need to label. I understand. We, in this modern era, we're coming up with relationships with our surroundings. We try to build connection to things around us, and, you know, tree green, road black. Like, I get that. But magic, being the supernatural force that it is, literally above nature, cannot be classified or quantified in a way that can be color-coded. It can't. It just can't. So knock off with your bullshit for a second here and join me on this little path that, again, what we also consider to be good and bad doesn't apply either. Again, it's supernatural, above the laws of nature. Aggressive magic is not evil. Good magic is not inherently righteous. People have been practicing the idea of loving magic for so long, and we've been forced into this stereotype of the white witch with the white robes who's just loving nature and hugging trees. Like, that's only one tiny little branch of magic, and can be very harmful if that's all you do. It can be, because too much of that saccharine practice leaves a person vulnerable and open. And the way I see it as a Morganite, and yes, Morganite, I use that term for the community all the time. Whatever your term is, I use Morganite. As a Morganite, to be open like that, it just feels like really bad tactics. Above and beyond that it's naive, is just really bad practice. Because so much of what exists in the world is not necessarily malicious, but not necessarily kind either. And so defensive magic is necessary. And most of what one would consider to be a defensive or aggressive magic has been quantified as bad or evil or has no place in our practice, right? I say bullshit. I say, again, one cannot heal if one cannot harm, and one cannot harm if one cannot heal. You need a balance of both, and to be unbalanced on either side of the spectrum, you know, just, it's bad tactics. If you are too outwardly aggressive, you leave yourself also vulnerable and open. You don't know how to defend yourself. You don't know how to heal yourself or protect yourself if you're openly aggressive. So let's call these things what they are. Aggressive magic and healing magic or love magic. And stay away from the colored stereotypes. It's like fingernails on a chalkboard every time we say this. And when you post it and when you, like, love and light, seriously, that's the best you got? Like, sending healing energy your way or good vibes, yes. But sometimes we need to let people know that we would break someone's kneecaps for them. I'm going to say it. That's one of the best compliments I've ever gotten. Be like, do you need me to go and break this person's kneecaps for you? And I'm like, oh, you love me so much. Thank you. It makes me feel better, but it also reminds me to get up and stand up for myself. Because hugging something away only works for as long as the hug is there. You know, you need to fight back sometimes. And it's just wrong, guys. It's just so wrong to call it black magic. It's so wrong to call it white magic. It doesn't have a color, and every form of practice, every spell is different given the intent that's motivated behind it. I've seen what would be classified at this time red magic, love, passion, sex magic, used to seduce somebody into loving you. That, to me, sounds exceptionally aggressive. That doesn't sound like a whole lot of love and light and white, you know, light vibes or sending healing energy your way. Like, no, this is the literal manipulation of a person, and that is a very aggressive tactic. I don't think it's wrong. I don't think that there's anything particularly bad about it, but let's call it what it is. That is an aggressive magic. And too many people are coming into the craft now thinking that they can do things like that without the repercussions. If you use aggressive magic, you have to be able to use defensive magic. And so much of what we used to know as a community about defending ourselves and psychic self-defense, which is probably going to be another video, you know, so much of what we used to know doesn't get passed around in the circles anymore. And this partly goes back to, again, what a mystery tradition is and how they work and how prevalent they are now. Probably, again, another video. So we can start diffusing this bomb and untangling the problems that these, you know, these ideas have formed by stop calling it colored magic. Let's just start there. There is no such thing as black and white when it comes to magic. There is only intention. And there is no such thing as a pure intention either. So stop trying to classify it like that. Use the words for what they actually are. And stop misleading people. Because we're here to teach the next generation. Again, like I said in my last video, I'm very much about service orientation. And this is part of the service education, is you need to call a thing what it is if you're going to get the thing you want out of it. You have to be specific and intentional with everything that you do in the craft, whether it's divination, whether it's sorcery, whether it's, you know, manipulation of energy. Healing included is manipulation of energy. It is a manipulation. So if you have issues with that, you might want to check yourself. We don't call things what they are, and so we are confusing the hell out of people who are coming in. And I know it confused the hell out of me when I was new, that these people were calling these things by these names, and you formulate a certain pattern of belief based on that, and it takes forever to get over that shit. So let's just not put it there to begin with, okay? Let's just stop. Don't color code your magic. Color code your candles, because color is good for a tuning fork, but don't color code your magic. It's dumb, and it makes you look like an idiot. It makes the rest of us look like idiots. Let's call it what it is. That's my PSA for today. So thank you so much for sticking with me for the 10-minute ride that this video has been. If you like what you heard today, please click subscribe. If you're on my Patreon, please become a patron. We have tiers starting at $5. So we're going to do fantastic things with that. Spread some education. Keep the conversation going. Please comment below. I'm putting links to my Patreon in the description box, and for my Weebly, where I do my divination blog every week. So feel free to check those out if you want to hear more. And until next time, stay awesome. Call things what they are. Don't confuse the hell out of the newbies. And don't color code your magic.